Soft boil. A soft-boiled egg is a delicately cooked egg where the whites are just set, while the yolk remains warm, rich, and beautifully runny. It's often seen as the perfect balance between raw and fully cooked, smooth, creamy, and satisfying without being heavy. It's made by gently lowering an egg into simmering water and cooking it for a short time, typically around 5 to 7 minutes. The timing is everything here. Just a minute too long, and the yolk begins to firm up. Once cooked, it's usually cooled slightly, cracked open, and eaten straight from the shell or served over toast, ramen, or salads. Soft-boiled eggs have been enjoyed for centuries across different cultures. In parts of Europe, especially in countries like France and the UK, they've long been a breakfast staple, often paired with toast soldiers, thin strips of bread used for dipping into the yolk. In Japan, a similar style egg is marinated and served with ramen, adding depth and flavor to the dish. What makes soft-boiled eggs so loved is their texture contrast, the gentle firmness of the white against the silky, almost sauce-like yolk. Some people prefer a slightly thicker yolk, while others want it almost completely liquid. That tiny difference in timing completely changes the experience, making it one of the most precise and debated ways to cook an egg. Medium boiled. A medium boiled egg sits right in the middle of the egg cooking spectrum, not as soft and flowing as a soft boil, and not as firm and fully set as a hard boil. It's that in-between texture where the white is fully cooked and firm, while the yolk turns thick, creamy, and slightly jammy rather than fully runny. It's made by placing eggs into hot water and letting them cook for a few extra minutes beyond a soft boil, usually around 7 to 9 minutes. After cooking, they're cooled briefly so the heat stops carrying over and pushing the yolk too far into firmness. That timing window is what defines the entire result. Medium boiled egg often acts as the bridge between soft and hard styles. Compared to a soft boiled egg, it holds its shape more confidently without losing that rich, creamy center. Compared to a hard boiled egg, it still keeps a bit of softness in the yolk instead of turning chalky or fully solid. This style is especially popular in ramen culture, where the yolk texture adds depth without being overly runny, and in many Asian-style breakfasts where eggs are treated almost like a topping rather than a standalone item. What makes it interesting is how precise it is. Just a couple of minutes can shift it into a completely different category. It's less about cooking an egg fully and more about stopping the process at exactly the right moment between two extremes. Hard-boiled. A hard-boiled egg is an egg that's fully cooked in its shell until both the white and yolk become firm and solid all the way through. Unlike softer styles, there's no runny center here, just a clean, compact texture that makes it easy to slice, mash, or eat on its own. It's made by placing eggs into boiling water and letting them cook for a longer period, usually around 9 to 12 minutes. After cooking, they're often cooled quickly in cold water to stop the cooking process and make them easier to peel. That sudden temperature change also helps reduce that stubborn shell sticking issue. Hard-boiled eggs have been a simple staple across many cultures for centuries. They're valued for their convenience, portability, and long shelf life compared to other egg styles. From ancient travel rations to modern-day lunchboxes, they've always been a reliable source of protein on the go. They show up in everything from salads and sandwiches to snacks and traditional dishes around the world. In some cultures, they're even seasoned or pickled, adding extra flavor while keeping their signature firmness. A cool thing about hard-boiled eggs is how universal they are. No matter where you go, almost every cuisine has its own version or way of using them. It's one of the simplest forms of cooking an egg, yet also one of the most widely used. Sunny side up. A sunny side up egg is a style of fried egg where the egg is cooked gently on one side only, leaving the yolk bright, round, and fully visible on top, soft, glossy, and still runny in the center. The whites are set just enough to hold everything together, while the yolk stays delicate and rich. It's made by cracking an egg into a lightly greased pan over low to medium heat, and allowing it to cook slowly without flipping. Sometimes a spoon of hot oil or a lid is used to help the whites cook through while keeping the yolk untouched. The goal is control, enough heat to set the base, but not so much that the yolk loses its softness. Sunny side up egg gets its name because the yolk sits upward like a small golden sun, sitting right in the center of the white cloud. That visual is exactly what made it such a popular breakfast style in diners across the world. Simple, quick, but still visually satisfying. That's also why sunny side up eggs are often seen as a breakfast aesthetic food. They look soft and minimal, but still feel a bit elevated, especially when paired with toast, rice, or bacon. Over easy. An over easy egg is a lightly fried egg that's cooked on both sides, but only briefly, just enough to set the whites while keeping the yolk soft, warm, and still runny inside. It's like a softer, flipped version of a sunny side up egg, with a thin film gently covering the yolk. To make it, the egg is cracked into a pan and cooked until the bottom firms up. Then it's carefully flipped for just a few seconds on the other side, so short that the yolk barely has time to change texture. The key here is timing and gentleness, because even a few extra seconds can push it from creamy to fully set. This style became especially popular in American diner culture, where quick breakfast orders needed something fast, familiar, and customizable. It sits right in that in-between space, less delicate than sunny side up, but still rich and flowing when you cut into it. A small but interesting detail is that the term over easy refers to how the egg is flipped and handled in the pan. Easy meaning the yolk is left undisturbed. In contrast, if it's cooked a bit longer, it can become over medium or over hard, depending on how firm the yolk gets. You get a lightly crisp edge, a soft white, and then that warm, almost sauce-like center that spreads the moment your fork breaks in. Scrambled. Scrambled eggs are a soft, mixed style of cooked eggs where the whites and yolks are whisked together before hitting the pan, creating a smooth, blended texture once heated. Instead of keeping structure like other egg styles, this one focuses on breaking everything down into soft curds that come together into a fluffy, tender bite. They're made by cracking eggs into a bowl, whisking until the mixture is fully combined, then pouring it into a warm, lightly greased pan. As the heat works through, the eggs are gently stirred or folded so they cook evenly without becoming dry or rubbery. The slower the heat and the softer the movement, the creamier the result. Scrambled eggs change completely based on technique. High heat gives large, firm curds, while low heat with constant stirring creates a softer, almost custard-like texture. Same ingredients, but a totally different experience depending on how they're handled. It's simple, fast, and endlessly adaptable, making scrambled eggs one of those dishes that feel basic but actually rely on perfect timing to get just right. Poached. A poached egg is an egg that's cooked outside its shell in hot water, creating a delicate white exterior with a soft, flowing yolk hidden inside. It has a smooth, almost silky appearance, with no oil or browning involved, just pure, gentle heat shaping it into form. To prepare it, water is brought to a light simmer, not a full boil, and the egg is carefully slipped in. The movement of the water helps the whites wrap around the yolk as it cooks. After a few minutes, it's lifted out with a spoon, often resting briefly on paper to remove excess water before serving. Poached egg has long been associated with refined breakfast dishes, especially in European cuisine, where it's commonly served over toast or layered into dishes like Eggs Benedict. What makes it stand out is the contrast inside, an almost cloud-like exterior that holds a warm, fluid center. That combination of softness and richness is what gives it its signature feel, especially when broken open and allowed to flow over other food. It's simple in ingredients, but very controlled in execution, which is why it often feels like one of the more precise ways to cook an egg. Omelette. An omelette is a folded egg dish made by whisking eggs and cooking them into a soft, set layer that can hold a variety of fillings inside. Unlike scrambled eggs, where everything is mixed throughout, this one keeps a smooth, structured form that wraps around whatever is added in the center. It starts by beating eggs until the mixture is even in texture, then pouring it into a warm pan with a bit of butter or oil. As it cooks, the edges begin to firm up, while the center stays slightly soft. At that moment, fillings like cheese, vegetables, meats, or herbs are added, and the egg is folded over to enclose everything inside. Omelette has roots stretching back centuries, with versions appearing in many different cultures under different names and styles. From thin French-style folds to thicker, more hearty variations found in American breakfasts, it has evolved into one of the most versatile egg dishes worldwide.